moved back into the house.
Yes, ma'am. It was a tumultuous relationship.
You have 4 children, and you have 2 young ones. They're the only victims of your irresponsible behavior and hers.
This is Judge Judy. Thomas Mercer is suing his ex-wife, Jennifer Mercer, for an unpaid loan to buy a car.
Judge's case number 79 on the calendar in the matter of Mercer versus Mercer. Parties have been sworn in.
Mr. Mercer, the defendant is your former wife, and you have children together. How many?
4.
How old are they?
23, 19, 11, and 8, Your Honor.
You were married in what year, sir?
We were married in 1999.
And divorced in what year?
We separated late 2012, divorced in 2016.
You separated in what year? I didn't hear that.
Late 2012.
And according to you, divorced in 2016.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember in what month you divorced in 2016?
I don't.
Do you remember, Ms. Mercer?
What
month in 2016?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, you do remember in what year in 2017 that you reconciled. What month was that?
I believe, I wrote it down here. I believe the month of May is when we did.
Okay, Ms. Mercer, you reconciled.
Yes.
Were they actually attending school, so it was in the winter, spring, as opposed to the summer?
I believe the summer, yes.
When you say you reconciled, in the divorce, sir, listen to me, that's not your story, that's her story. In the divorce, who got the house?
Me, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And where did you move, Mrs. Mercer?
I moved into an apartment.
Which, if any, of the children came with you?
I took the 2 youngest ones. The 2 oldest wanted to stay.
No. All the children stayed with me.
Just a second. Don't speak unless I'm asking you a question.
Sorry, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I took the youngest ones. They were only 1 and 3 at the time.
And the 2 older ones who were then in 2016, 15 and 18, they stayed with their father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did the judgment of divorce provide for custody, Ms. Mercer?
Yes.
Who had physical custody of the children?
Thomas was awarded physical custody.
Of all 4 children?
Yes.
Was that on consent, or was there a hearing?
We had a
trial.
We had a 3.5-year trial, roughly.
You mean during this 2012 to 2016 separation, there was a trial?
There was.
Where were the 2 youngest children? With you or with their father?
We were doing like a temporary order where the judge had time with me and then time with Thomas, with the kids. So it was a temporary order until it was final.
That took too long for whatever reason.
Yes, it did.
I cannot imagine what reason. A trial involving young children takes 3 years. Ridiculous. All right. Now, at some point, you moved back into the house. That was in the summer of 2017?
Yes.
How long did you stay there?
A little over a year.
Until when?
Until I was told I couldn't return.
What month? What month?
It was in May.
So you were there for about a year?
Yes.
And, Mr. Mercer, this is your claim. Your claim is that in 2017 or 18, your former wife needed a car. You loaned her money for a car in which you took out a personal loan.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And in what month and year did you do that?
The loan was taken out in 2019. Your Honor, can I back up a little bit before that?
Just a second. Is what you're telling me, you're going to have to show me the loan papers. Do you have the loan papers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want you to look at them and tell me what month and year you took out the loan. You say in June she could repair her car. Within 2 months it wasn't working and she needed another $9,000.
Yes, ma'am.
It's more money than I
5-1.
had. So let me see it. Put it up on the evidence screen. The first loan that you say was June 2019. So in May 2019, which according to your former wife is the year after she moved out, because she did move back into the house.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was in 2017 to 2018.
No, Your Honor, she lived in the house until recently.
Until recently?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what you're telling me?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
want to make certain. So she moved into the house in 2017, and she moved out recently in 2020.
Yes, ma'am.
And during that time, she lived together with you and the 4 children.
Yes, ma'am. It was off and on again.
Okay.
Your Honor. She came to me in 2017 saying she needed somewhere to stay. So we weren't necessarily reconciling at that time. She needed somewhere to stay.
Mr. Mercer, if you think, Mr. Mercer, that I think that your former wife came to live with you and the 4 children, and the 2 of you didn't resume cohabitating. Do you know what I'm referring to?
Yes. Initially,
if you think that I think...
We did, but not initially. She needed somewhere to stay. She was in a bad relationship, Your Honor, and she needed to leave that house. So she came and lived with me.
That's all right. At some point, it transitioned. Yeah, at some point it transitioned.
Yes, ma'am.
At some point it transitioned into back living as a family.
Yes, ma'am.
With your 4 children.
Yes, ma'am. It was on and off
She
again.
lived there until, Mr. Mercer and Sir, at some point, you say in 2020, she moved out. She says it was 2019. You got to get your story straight, folks.
That's what
Do you understand?
It's off and on, Your Honor.
You got to get your story straight. Yeah, I understand that.
That's the problem.
And at one point, when it was on, you took out a loan. Now, she says one of the reasons you took out a big loan is because you made some repairs to the house with some of that money. I don't really care whether you made repairs to the house or whether she bought a car. You were living together as a family with your 4 children.
Your Honor, no, it wasn't. It was a tumultuous relationship, and I don't even... The whole premise of what she said, Your Honor, was that she never leave the house with the children. The children always stayed with me. That's part of the problem. There's a truth-telling problem. So we were off and on again quite frequently. Between that time of being there and back.
Listen, with your on-again, off-again tumultuous relationship with your wife, you have 4 children and you have 2 young ones. They're the only victims of your irresponsible behavior and hers.
I agree, Your Honor.
They're the only yo-yos. Sometimes they have a mother in the house. Sometimes they don't have a mother in the house. Judge did a long hearing. You got custody of the 4 children. She took the 2 little ones, she says, to live with her early on. Then she came back, and at some point you bought a car while she was living there. And Mr. Mercer. Yeah, Mr. Mercer.
She had a car.
You're not getting any money from her. You're not getting any money from her.
I'm trying to tell you, initially she had a car that was having problems. I had loaned her $3,500 for that car to be repaired first. And then from there, she got another car. And I tried to convince her to buy something of a lesser value, but no, she had to have this car. And she needed to do it, had a rebuilt title, Your Honor. So she couldn't take a traditional loan through a bank, and she had bad credit. So I took that loan. And she was going to take that car and take it to get it refinanced once it was in her possession. This is what it was supposed to be easier for her to do that. And then it would be in her name, her car, on her loan. So it was supposed to be a short thing, Your Honor, where it had anything to do with me. Mm-hmm. So then she started paying on it. She paid on it over a year. She has right here, Your Honor. She paid out of her own account for over a year.
Second, stop talking. Did she pay you any rent when she was living there?
No, she paid. She was still paying child support, Your Honor. That's what I'm saying. This was off and on. It wasn't the happy family. There was a lot of issues. And I had the children all throughout, Your Honor.
Don't give your ex-wife any more money. She must have some serious problems. But that's not something that courts get involved with, sir.
Well, it shouldn't be my responsibility, Your Honor.
Yeah,
because
it is your responsibility. You took out the loan.
And
you took out the loan. You also were the one who had sex with her in your house with your 4 children, like you were all living together. This is not something that courts deal with. Your case is dismissed. Goodbye.
All this time.
Thank you. Case is over.
This case is completed. Parties are excused.
No, I think it's ridiculous.
I'm very thankful with the results that Judge Judy was able to see through my ex-husband.
I'm being the responsible one, so now once again I'm beating it.
It's a long, long battle I dealt with for many, many years.
Yeah, I was silly. I shouldn't have let her back in. But once again, I guess I'll pay for that.
He's upset that the relationship ended.
No more loans.
Probably never get married again.
All parties in the matter of Sarkisian versus Zamora. Step to the podium, please.
Artin Sarkisian is suing his former tenant, Adela Zamora, for unpaid rent and attorney fees.
Mr. Sarkisian, this is your tenant, was your tenant. You purchased a building. It was a 4-unit building, and the defendant had been a tenant there when you purchased the building. Subsequent to your purchasing the building, you created new leases with your tenants, including the defendant. So far, am I accurate?
That is accurate.
Do you have a copy of the lease that you created with Ms. Zamora?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
Here's page 1.
Okay. And who are listed as occupants of that apartment?
The occupants are David, Theodore, Andrew, Angelica, Isaiah, and Jaden.
Okay. And that's the lease that you created. And at least one of those people who were listed as the premises will also be used by the following people. Is one of those people the brother that you have an issue with now?
Correct.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I have a newborn baby, and the house is horrible.
Listen to me. If you don't like something, you move.
Right,
so
that's
you
why I
decided
did.
to move, but you ate the steak. You lived there for 9 days.
Artin Sarkissian says former tenant Adela Zamora moved out owing for rent conditions and harassment.
Okay, so now this is what the case is about. Several years later, in October or perhaps before October, when you were on a month-to-month basis with the defendant, she gave you notice that she was going to be moving out on October the 9th. She paid her September's rent. She moved out on October 9th. Part of your lawsuit is for the 9 days that she lived there that she did not pay rent, which my rudimentary math translates into $558 if you're successful. Ms. Zamora, did you, in fact, live in the apartment for 9 days in October?
I did, yes.
Did you pay him for the 9 days in October?
I did not, but my rent was due on the 10th every month.
Well, I don't care when it was due. It was beginning October 1st, so it may have been your last day to pay, October 10th.
Yes.
So you owe him the $558
I believe I don't
for the
owe
9
him
days
it
that you...
because of the situation that the house is in. I have a newborn baby, and the house is horrible. I don't...
Listen to me.
Okay.
Listen to me. If you don't like something, you move.
Right,
so
that's
you
why I
decided
did.
to move, but you ate the steak. You lived there for 9 days.
Yes, because I
Just
believed
like
he would
you lived
fix
there
the
in month of
situation.
Listen, you lived there for years. You owe him $558 for the 9 days you stayed there. This is the second part of your lawsuit, which is going to be dismissed. I'm telling you now, because you're not suing her for $558. You're suing her for $5,000 because you say she allowed her brother, who I assume is that person sitting next to you.
Yes.
Is that right, Ms. Zamora?
Yes.
She allowed him into the apartment, and he subsequently became a squatter. And he hasn't paid you rent. You had to get a lawyer involved to try to get him out. You couldn't get him out now. He's still living there, I assume. Is that right?
Yes, he is.
He's still living there. You can't get him out because of the COVID moratorium. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you want to put her on the line for that because she let him move in. No, you let him move in, sir,
Well,
because you put him on your lease.
But yes, Your Honor, I have text messages proving that they did move out in April of this year, and then Ms. Zamora had kicked them out because
That was my other brother, actually.
they wouldn't pay rent.
Don't interrupt him.
Okay.
Because they wouldn't pay rent.
It
so
doesn't matter to me. He was on the original lease.
Correct.
You can't sue her. If you
But
can't
she
sue
is the
him, you
signee
can't
of.
sue her.
But she's the
there.
signee of the lease. She's the one responsible. In the lease, it clearly states when you
No,
terminate.
the lease terminated the lease for her.
Correct.
She owes you $558. You think that you have a cause of action against her brother? Use it.
Well, in the
Use it against her brother. She's not paying you anything other than the $558
But on
that
the
she
lease,
owes you for 9 days.
On the lease, under Section 19, upon vacating, you're supposed to take all persons and personal property with you.
Carefully listen to me. She's paying you $558. They were month to month after the 2017. Was that renewed every year?
No, it was not.
In
It was
writing?
It was just continued as month.
$558. That's your judgment. Now, just for my own information, Ms. Zamora.
Yes.
How does your brother get money for food?
So right now he gets
That brother.
He gets food stamps. So CalFresh.
And how does he get money for clothes?
He was working, but since the pandemic, they cut his hours at work. So he was working.
Who was he working? Just a
was-
second. Who was he working for, Ms. Zamora?
He was working for Wingstop as a customer service representative.
For who?
Wingstop, fast food restaurant.
Was he working in the store?
He was working
or
in the store.
From an office?
In the store.
And when you say they cut his hours, from what to what?
So he was getting 40 hours. They cut him maybe to he's paid by check, yes. Bi-weekly.
Does he have any other dependents?
He does. He has his son and his wife.
where is his wife?
His wife is at the residence that we're here about.
And what does his wife do for a living?
She does not work.
Why?
Right now, because she has to take care of a 3-year-old kid and she's pregnant.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is a terrible, terrible time. And the government really wanted to protect people who had lost their jobs. But if you're working, you at least make some effort to pay something towards your rent.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Artin Sarkissian says former tenant Adela Zamora moved out owing for rent. Adela is countersuing for poor living conditions and harassment.
All right, Mr. Sarkissian.
Yes.
Looks to me you're going to have to wait until there's a vaccine or until they lift that moratorium.
Correct.
You now know who he works for, and you know that he gets paid by check bi-weekly. Do you understand?
Well, according to them, he does not work. So now she's saying he does work.
He's been there for a year and a half, and we can get proof of that.
Well, that's a year and a half. That's not years. He works there. She says he works there.
Okay. Next.
File a lawsuit against him. I mean, the moratorium against eviction for non-payment of rent is really for people who lost their jobs during the pandemic or who were suffering financially during the pandemic. And it's going to have to be up to your brother to, at some point, address why he was working, and he's still working, and he's living his life. He has a wife. He has a child. He thought he had sufficient financial resources to make another child, but he doesn't pay his rent. You think that that's fair?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, it's going to have to be up to your brother. He has a wife. He has a child. He thought he had sufficient financial resources to make another child, but he doesn't pay his rent. You think that that's fair?
I don't think that
You
it's
think that
fair.
that's fair?
No.
It's not fair. It's not fair. This is a terrible, terrible time. And the government really wanted to protect people who had lost their jobs from having a whole working. You at least make, even if they reduce your hours, you at least make some effort to pay something towards your rent and say, listen, I'm going to give you more as soon as my hours are back up. But right now they cut my hours to whatever it is, so I'm going to pay you half the rent. I'm going to pay you a quarter of the rent. But to say, I mean, is your brother an unintelligent man?
He's not. They have like a lot of finances like that.
Just a second. So he moved in. He lives there with his wife, a 3-year-old, and bringing another baby into that apartment. Is that right?
Yes.
And your counterclaim is that the apartment was in terrible condition.
It's in very terrible condition.
And you want to be compensated for that. Well, that's dismissed. $558. Judgment for the plaintiff. Thank you very much. We're done.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
We got into a disagreement and an argument over my boyfriend, the fact that they didn't like him and they didn't want him over anymore.
Did he ever do in your apartment anything unlawful?
Judge Judy.
Looks like I'll be having to go after the brother next.
The police got involved because he was saying that they were trespassing, which was very...
And they wouldn't get out. So when the police came, they said, this is a eviction case.
He was not trespassing. He was on the lease since 2017.
She would call me and then 5 minutes later call the health department. I never wanted her kicked out.
The health department, okay, there was molding in the house, no heating in the house. There was infestation of rodents.
It's time to go back to court.
I'm just done.
I just want to know what kind of a nasty guy he is.
His lying was a big problem.
Did you ever live together?
No. It was my apartment. He moved in with me.
Then his cheating was exposed.
He was still involved with Claudia.
She reached out to me, came to find out that, he was lying to the both of us.
Couldn't you tell who he was?
Yeah, I fell for the sweet nothings.
This is Judge Judy. Randa Ramia is suing her ex-boyfriend, Adrian Astorga, for unpaid loans to help his business.
Judge, this is case number 26 on the calendar in the matter of Ramia versus Astorga. Both parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Mr. Astorga, I'm going to start with you. How did you hurt your arm?
Work accident. I broke in a work accident.
When?
2 weeks ago.
What kind of work?
We were rigging and it came back and hit my arm.
You have children. Is that right, sir?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
2.
How old are they?
11 and 2.
And what's their mother's first name?
Claudia.
If you have 2 children who are 11 and 2, Claudia and the 2 children's, their parents are the same. So you and Claudia have 2 children.
No, it's 2 different.
So you have 2 children with 2 different ladies.
Yes.
What is the 2-year-old's mother's name?
Claudia.
And what is the 11-year-old's mother's name?
Andrea.
Which one do you live with now?
Claudia.
For how long have you been living with Claudia?
2 years.
Did you start living together while she was pregnant or before?
While she was pregnant.
You lived with her during the child's birth?
Yes.
And continuously until now?
Yes.
So I'd like you to explain to me, sir, how you managed Miss Ramea. Explain that to me.
I used to work for her dad.
Well, that doesn't make you funny. That makes you an idiot. I mean, it's not funny. You used to work for her father in what?
Carpet cleaning.
And when did you stop working for him in carpet cleaning?
About a month after I started.
And what did you start to do then?
Got into the tree service.
When did you start seeing the plaintiff socially?
We've been on and off.
For how long?
I want to say 4 or 5 years, if not more.
While you were dating her?
No, we weren't dating. I met her working for the dad, but I didn't know that she was the daughter of the owner.
So when you say you've been dating on and off for 4 or 5 years, did you ever live together?
No.
Did you ever stay at her home for a period of more than 3 days?
No.
Is that correct?
We moved in together last year, September.
September of 2019? Where did you move in together?
Into an apartment.
Did you both sign the lease?
No, it was my apartment. He moved in with me. I had already had a lease.
So let's deal with it. Let's answer my questions directly. You didn't move in together. He moved in with you in September of 2019.
Correct.
Was he there on a full-time basis?
Yes.
7 days a week?
Yes.
Your lawsuit is about money that you allege he owes you as a result of using your credit cards to start a business in July of this year.
That's correct. And that was for the insurance.
That's in this year.
Yes.
At that time, he had, according to you, been living with you continuously since September 2019.
That's correct.
And he used your credit card. That's what this is all about. He used your credit card, and he bought a whole bunch of things for his business. He thinks this is all funny. I have to tell you something, sir. She may see what is appealing about you. Me, not so much.
Okay.
He was still involved with Claudia.
Correct.
Tell me how you found out he was still involved with Claudia.
Well, she reached out to me.
And when?
I want to say in May of this year.
How did she reach out to you?
She sent me a letter by Yelp.
Do you have it?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it.
Well, I have a text message where she's asking me to meet with her in person.
I would like to see the letter she sent to you.
Sure. Let me find it. I'm sorry. You think it's okay to contact my fiance? What kind of woman are you going after someone who is engaged? This is the second time your thirsty gets involved in our relationship. Do I really have to keep going?
Yes.
When he was living with you, we were still together. He used your car to come to my house. You have to email him to talk to him. Does that tell you something is up? You're stupid. When he made you wait at Starbucks and left you there because he was on the phone with me, you want him so badly, you can have him. Get something straight. You will never be first. I'm dumping his cheating, but you will never take my place. He will never love you. You're just some chick he's trying to use to pass time. You will never take my place.
Okay. So then you met her in person.
Yes.
Now, what had Prince Charming told you about his relationship with Claudia?
He was keeping
You knew he had a child.
Yeah. He was keeping it civil between the two of them because he didn't want chaos. If she knew about our relationship, she would probably hold the child from him spending time with him.
So that's the reason he gave you for not introducing you to the child?
Yeah.
I assume.
Well, I met the kid.
Where?
We took him to a pumpkin patch.
When? That must have been
Halloween.
Sometime in the fall of...
Around Halloween.
So he was about a year old then?
About, yeah.
Too young to tell the story.
Right.
Right. You started to say that you made an appointment to meet Claudia.
No,
I just want to know what kind of a nasty guy he is. I'm just trying to figure it out.
That's okay. Well, we did meet in person. She was more cordial then. We talked about it, and it came to find out that, yeah, he was lying to the both of us.
Right. Does he ever see his 11-year-old child?
Yes.
Is that a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
Does he have visitation with that child?
I believe so.
Did you ever meet that child?
No.
Do you know why he left your father's business?
So that he can go into the tree business, because carpet cleaning really wasn't what he wanted to do.
Wasn't his dream job.
Correct.
Doing trees and breaking his arm is his dream job.
I guess it's a lucrative business.
I'd like you to tell me, according to you, he moved in with you in September of 2019, and he lived with you.
Yes.
There had to be some periods of time that he lived with Claudia.
Till me and her actually met, and she had told me that there was moments that they were living together.
You mean periods of time when he wouldn't come home, that there would be a reason that he wouldn't come?
No, he came home every day.
He can't be sleeping in...
No, he came
can't
home
be
every
sleeping
day.
in two places.
He came home every day.
did?
Yeah.
Well, then, is Claudia missing a few? She didn't realize he wasn't there for almost a year and a half?
Well, while he was living with me, he wasn't living with Claudia. Claudia was living with her mother. And apparently, from what she understood, is that he was living with a coworker, and I was just a sister.
Is that what you told her?
No.
Sir?
No.
No. Well, how did you explain this living with somebody else
I wasn't living with her.
to Claudia?
I was living with Claudia.
You weren't living with her. You were living with Claudia. So she's psychotic. Is that
A little
what-
bit.
Now, how did you get possession of her credit card?
I didn't. She made payment. Yeah.
What?
I didn't.
You have to be very careful. Yeah, you have. So you never charged anything on her credit card?
Not physically.
Is what you're
no.
saying?
Yes.
What do you mean not physically? You
Yeah,
mean
I've never
emotionally?
used the card.
You tried.
I've never
you
used the
charged,
card.
You've never bought anything for yourself using her credit card.
No, I didn't.
Explain how that happened.
Well, I have evidence.
Yes.
I mean, I can show you.
Well, how did he
I
use
handed the credit
your
card,
credit card?
I handed the credit card into his hand. That's how he got the credit card. But
When?
he, insurance for his company that I have here.
And how much was that for?
That one was for $3,100, and then there was
Okay. It's just a...
Go ahead.
Explain that to me. $3,100 for your insurance. Explain it.
She paid it using...
It was paid by her credit card.
Yeah, by her.
Well, how did you do that? You said to her, this is my insurance payment.
Yeah.
Can you pay it with your credit card?
Right. I mean, at
Now,
that
I want you to tell me how it
At
happened.
that time, I was short on money, and she insisted to pay for it, and I told her
No, not insistent. I want physically. Physically. Sir.
Your question...
Physically, not emotionally.
Your question is...
If my question is, how did the insurance get paid? Did you hand her
She paid for it. She
the
paid
bill? No. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah, I didn't...
Did you hand her the bill?
No, she made the payment herself using her card.
How could she do that? She took out a crystal ball and said, this is about what the insurance payment is.
She
and I'm gonna figure out where...
She processed the payment online using her credit card.
How did she know to whom to make the payment? Follow my words. How did she know to whom to make the payment?
Because she knows. We talk. She was insisting to pay as an investment to our...
Did she know the name to whom to make the payment?
The company name?
Yes, the company name.
I mean, she knows it, but she knows everything about... We talk, so she knows the name of the company. She knows everything.
How did she know the amount?
Well, when the payment comes up on the tells you how much to pay, it tells you right there how much to pay. She paid that amount.
No, it wouldn't come up on her machine because it wasn't her business.
Yeah, she did it.
It would come up.
She paid. Yeah, she did. She went online to a state compensation.
What an idiot. No, that would be you.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
You have to hear me. I mean, if I had a little more time, or if I was not as nice a person as I am, it would be my joy to continue to torture him.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
There was a collision with the plaintiff's car.
Yes.
You wanted a parking space that badly. You jumped in front of him, nasty, but you found a parking space, and instead of looking and making sure, you threw your car into reverse so that you could make the turn and get the space. Nasty.
Randa Ramia says ex-boyfriend Adrian Astorga, on behalf of his business.
Now, if I had a little more time, or if I was not as nice a person as I am. It would be my joy to continue to torture him. But tape is very expensive. And CBS doesn't like to pay for tape just to see me humiliate somebody. I mean, couldn't you tell who he was?
Yeah, I fell for the sweet nothings.
No, you fell for it.
I fell for the sweet nothings.
If you fell for it, my dear, you have to pay for it. Because there's no question in my mind that this wasn't a loan.
No, it wasn't
There's
a loan.
no question in my mind that this wasn't a loan.
This was a loan.
No way.
No, this was a loan.
No.
And he was paying me back.
No.
I have proof of him paying me back. He was paying me back. I have it here. He started it back in March. He paid me back $500. It was an absolute loan. In July, he paid me $900. I even have an email where I was actually trying to figure it out because right before we broke up, he had 2 jobs lined up and he had agreed that he was going to pay me $1,000 from that money.
That's great. If you had a loan agreement, I would say I would take a look at it.
Well,
I'm making a ruling now. Listen, if women want to be stupid and give men money.
No, it's not. It wasn't about being stupid or giving anybody money.
They've been stupid forever. You gave him money because you figured you were going to be together. That's why you gave him money. It was his business. He left your father because it wasn't something that he wanted to do. He didn't want to be in the carpet cleaning business.
We weren't dating.
Thank you. Your case is dismissed. We're done. Bye.
This case is concluded. Parties may step out.
It was definitely a loan.
Shaggy said it wasn't me.
He was paying me back. It wasn't me just giving him money.
To be at 2 places at the same time.
I tried. I sent him 4 emails and I never got anything back, so.
It was a gift.
I'm not a priority. He was probably going to pay me back at some point.
It's a future investment in the relationship.
It's just not pertinent.
Don't do it again.
All parties in the matter of Jimenez versus Robles. Approach the podium, please.
Eric Jimenez is suing fellow motorist Melinda Robles for an accident in a shopping center parking lot.
This was an auto accident that occurred on the 22nd of July of this year. Is that correct, Mr. Jimenez?
That's correct.
And from what I gather from both your complaint and Ms. Robles, from your answer, you were both looking for a parking space in a parking lot.
Right.
Right. What kind of car were you driving, Mr. Jimenez?
I was driving a 2014 Honda Civic EX, 4-door.
And what kind of car were you driving, Ms. Robles?
It's a 2001 Chrysler Town & Country.
So it's a big car.
Right.
Now, on the 22nd of July of this year, Mr. Jimenez, did you have automobile insurance on your car?
I did.
That was in effect?
I did.
Of this year, did you have automobile insurance that was in effect?
Yes, I do.
That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
With what company?
With Fred Lawyers Insurance.
You have those papers to show me that you had insurance coverage on the 22nd?
Yes.
I'd like to see them. Now, Mr. Jimenez, did you try to contact Ms. Robles' insurance company?
I did.
Can you tell me what happened when you tried to contact her insurance company?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I saw her rear lights come up, and it looks like she floored it, and she was heading towards my car, and that's when I started honking. I even put my window down to, trying to, stop. But obviously she didn't see me, and she hit my front fender.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Eric Jimenez says fellow motorist Melinda Robles backed into him in a shopping center parking lot.
Now, can you tell me what happened when you tried to contact her insurance company?
Yes, ma'am. I actually contacted my insurance first, but unfortunately, because the damages didn't exceed my deductible, which was $1,000, my company said that insurance.
Well, tell them.
Right. So I called.
I gathered that.
I called her insurance company, and I went ahead and gave my statements to the representative from her company. And about 2 weeks after the initial call, her adjuster called me and said, due to the fact that Ms. Robles had stated to them that she wasn't at fault, her adjuster stated, we're going to take our client's word and we're going to decline your damages.
Fine. Okay. The reason I'm asking that question is because it seems to me the damages, as you indicate in your complaint, was $719. That's what it cost to fix your car.
That's correct.
And so you were out of pocket that $719.
That's correct.
I just wanted to make certain that we're not here because somebody didn't have insurance on that day.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you were looking for a parking space.
That's correct.
On the 22nd. About what time, Mr. Jimenez?
I would have to say around noon 12 o'clock.
And when you saw the defendant for the first time, can you tell me where she was?
When I seen her for the first time, she cut me off abruptly.
She came around you.
Correct, to get a parking spot. Yes, ma'am.
She came around you.
That's
so
correct.
you're both going relatively slowly in a parking lot. And the first time you saw her, she went around and got in front of you.
That's correct.
And then what happened?
She went in front of that. There was another car facing us. She didn't know, but that
Coming
car...
from the opposite direction.
Correct. That car took that parking spot. So neither her
So
nor I
scooted
got
into
it.
that parking spot.
Correct.
So now she's in front of you.
That's correct.
And then what happened?
So she started making a right turn into another parking aisle, still an aisle.
An aisle, not a spot.
Nope, an aisle. As soon as she turned right, I was right behind her. There was a stop sign. I looked both ways, make sure I had a clear sign. I continued to make the same right she made, and as I was making a right, I saw her rear lights come up, and it looks like she floored it, and she was heading towards me, to my car, and that's when I started honking. I even put my window down to start, trying to stop. But obviously she didn't see me, and she hit my front fender.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, Mr. Jimenez.
Yes, ma'am.
Would I be correct that when you got out of the car and she got out of the car,
right,
was there a parking space available?
Yes.
After she made the
right,
that there was a parking space available.
Right.
That's what you said in your answer.
Yes.
Is that right, Ms. Robles?
Yes.
And so what you did, according to you, was since you had a very big car, you needed to make a wider turn.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's not what you say. That's what I'm saying. But you needed to make a wider turn. And in order to do that, you had to back up your car a little bit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. And when you backed up your car a little bit, there was a collision with the plaintiff's car.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
Well, you have to pay him $719. That's what happened. You didn't see it. You wanted a parking space that badly. You jumped in front of him, nasty, but you found a parking space, and instead of looking and making sure, you threw your car into reverse so that you could make the turn and get the space. Nasty. Cost you $719. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Ma'am, Judge,
you.
I'm also suing for lost wages.
You also,
I'm
I
also
saw
suing
that.
for lost wages.
We're done. 700. I heard you. I heard you. I'm ignoring you.
Copy.
$719. Got it?
Got it.
Copy. Thank you.
Included, parties are excused.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Both checks bounced.
Yes.
Can you not say the word bounce?
They were bounced. You knew that there were insufficient funds. Do you know that?
I think she's seen through the lies that Ms. Robles was trying to, cop out.
He did tell lies. I was in the right of way because I was going first.
Not really a sense of urgency. It's just that I had to go to work.
And then he was coming out of a thing, going to make a right turn. So
due to the pandemic that was going on, I had to make sure I was stocked up on toilet paper and essential things that I needed to get.
He even told me he's seen me backing up. But my question is, why didn't you back up as well if you know I didn't hear you?
And I needed to get my groceries done ASAP, so...
Your horn, But that's okay,
Oh, wow. She started laughing uncontrollably.
No, I've never laughed. I'm not that type of person. I was more scared because I didn't know.
And it kind of threw me off.
What was going to happen, I'm not like that.
I'm glad that... once again, Judge Judy saw through her, through the lies that she was trying to put.
And now I could just get on with my life now.
And now I'm glad everything worked out for both of us.
She said you wore the items and you re-tagged them.
Controversy in her consignment shop.
You had them cleaned and you put them back on the rack.
Showdown.
You went to get your clothes.
Correct. And we started fighting.
Someone was arrested. That would be you.
This is Judge Judy. Victoria Paul is suing her former friend, C.C. Rocker, for the return of clothes she was selling on consignment, a false arrest, and harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 462 on the calendar in the matter of Paul versus Rocker.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Paul, this is short version of what I see in the complaint and the answer. You gave on consignment some designer clothes to the defendant who had a shop.
Correct.
And you were in close proximity to her shop.
Well, I was upstairs. She was downstairs.
Give me the month and year that you gave her the clothes.
July 2019.
And then you say that you saw either the defendant or some other people wearing the clothes that you had given her on consignment.
Correct.
And then having them cleaned and putting them back on for sale.
Correct.
You didn't like that. And you were upstairs. So you went downstairs on what date?
I didn't go downstairs. I sent her an
You never got paid for the clothes?
No.
But at some point you did go downstairs to retrieve your clothes?
Correct.
On what date was it that you went downstairs to retrieve your clothes?
Probably a week after our agreement.
So you went downstairs, and tell me what happened when you went downstairs.
Well, it was a prelude to our email. I went downstairs in response to the email of her telling me to come and get my things because she was upset that I had basically outed her on saying I've seen items that I was not paid for on other people on social media, including yourself. And these items were not in the payout agreement, but they're here being worn or sold by others. And my things are so limited, I know what belonged to my store.
Got it. So you told her you wanted them back.
Correct, or payout for it.
Well, she wasn't giving you the payout, so you went downstairs to get your clothes.
Correct.
And that was also in July. So you go downstairs, you grab your clothes, and you took them upstairs.
But not everything.
Most of the stuff.
Correct.
She got mad and came to where you were.
Correct.
To get her hangers. Because when you took the clothes, you took them on the hangers. So she wanted her hangers back. And that's when the fight took place.
Yes.
And as a result of this fight, someone was arrested.
Correct.
That would be you.
Yes.
And what happened with that case?
It was dismissed or dropped. It was never moved forward with the DA's office.
So there were no charges ever filed?
Correct.
You never appeared before a judge?
Correct.
Or did you appear before a judge?
No.
Was there a protective order issued?
No.
So what you are seeking now is for the value of the clothes, some of which have already been worn.
Correct.
For a false arrest.
Correct.
And I don't know what the harassment is. She has a counterclaim for the money owed for an assault and defamation. Okay, let's deal with that first. You're upstairs getting your hangers back.
Correct, as well as the garment that she wanted me to pay for, the duster that I was wearing. I went to retrieve both the hangers and the duster.
The what?
It's called a duster. It's like a cardigan.
I
went to retrieve the cardigan and hangers from her store upstairs.
Why that cardigan?
Because she requested that when I send her payout information to include it, when she came to pick up the clothing, she actually took it with her. So I said, okay, return that with the hangers, and we'll get this all squared away.
Miss Rocker, did you ever pay her for any of the things that she gave you on consignment? Did you ever pay her any money?
No, ma'am.
Okay. She's going to show me pictures of the clothing that she gave you on consignment to sell.
Well,
Just a second. Now, did you allow other people to wear clothing that she had given you on consignment to sell? That's either a yes or a no.
That's correct.
So that's a yes. Now, when she gave you the clothing to sell on consignment, it was new, correct?
Not the thing that the designer wore was not new.
Just a second. Are you saying that all but one item was new?
One of the items, correct.
All but one of the items was new?
A few of them had stains, so I can't tell if they were new or not. But of the items that we're speaking upon, one was not new, but the others were.
Were new?
Correct.
Once you wore them, or somebody else wore them, you understand that they're no longer new.
I do understand that.
So that they lose value.
Exactly. That's why you would put them on sale.
Just a second. That they lose value.
Correct.
Now, did you have written authorization from her to take her new items that she had given you to sell, make them used items, and then her?
In our contract, it stated that
just a second. Don't talk. Show me the contract. Then the answer is yes. Show me the contract. I want you to circle in the contract where it says that the items can be worn, and therefore circle in the contract where it says that the items can be worn and then returned to inventory and therefore must be sold as old or used. Just circle in the contract. Doesn't say that at all.
Well, it states that
it doesn't say that at all.
Her property to make that decision.
No. It doesn't say that you can wear it. Doesn't say, I don't know what you underline. All inventory provided to the store will now be considered the property of Created Risk Boutique for at least 30 days.
Correct.
To you, that means that you can wear it and sell it as used?
Well, no.
Listen. My question to you is, do you have a contract that permits you to take new merchandise, make it used merchandise by wearing it, or allow others to wear it for whatever purpose, whether you say it's for advertising, whatever it is? Do you have a contract that says that? You just underlined this. This is not what it says at all.
Well, I'm not necessarily negating that part of the claim.
Fine, very good. Then she owes you for the value of the clothing. What's the value of the clothing?
$32.56.
Let me see the items, please.
Some of the inventory list, and then here's the part.
Would she be able to return that item as well?
This is the inventory.
Some of it. It didn't all fit in her inventory control thing, and when she came into my store, I manually wrote it by hand.
Okay. Now what I'd like you to show me or tell me is about the assault that you were arrested on.
Okay, so the day that she came in...
You go upstairs to get your hangers. And?
Well, Victoria sent me an email stating for me to come upstairs and grab the hangers and the duster from her. I walk upstairs, and as soon as I walk in, I was on the phone with my mother. She tells me to get off the phone. I'm just here to get the items. I need to get back to my store. I left it unlocked. At that time, Victoria begins to get irate and tell me she's not going to give me back any hangers or anything at all. So once she gets irate, I immediately turn around and say, you know what, I'm getting out of here. My mom's in the phone. She's like, get out of there right away.
Don't tell me what your mother said.
But right away, I go to get out of the store. Victoria had huge sliding glass doors on her store. She tries to close them to keep me in the store. When she couldn't get them closed, she stands in front of me and starts pushing me back in the store, telling me that I'm not going anywhere, that this is her store. She's not giving me anything. I'm messing with the wrong girl now. And then from that point forward, we start fighting.
Okay, so she pushed you.
She pushes me. She's standing in front of me
just a second. She pushed you. And what was the next thing that happened?
She grabbed my hair.
She pushed you.
Well, we kind of were pushing each other because she was standing in front of me, you know.
She pushed you. You pushed her. Next thing that happened?
She grabbed my hair and started yanking it. And we started fighting.
Okay. When you were fighting, describe what's fighting.
We were literally fighting all over her store, like from this side to that side.
Standing up.
We were falling over the ground, tussling, pretty much all over the store. People were walking by.
To see a report of any injuries that you had.
I have the police report.
I'd like to see a report.
Well, it tells the injuries that they visibly saw as well as their medical.
Right. And then I would like to see the medical reports that you have.
I actually didn't get the opportunity to go to the...
Not actually. Did you go to a hospital?
I did not.
Did you go to seek medical attention?
I seek the medical attention right then on the scene.
All right. So the answer is no.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't go to the doctor.
All right, then just say no.
Oh, sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Let me explain to you. If you went to buy a car, you would be making car payments, right?
Yes,
that would be correct. So let's just get some dates so you feel less terrible when you leave here.
Victoria Paul says former friend CC Rocker owes for the return of clothes, a false arrest, and harassment. CC is countersuing for assault, harassment, and defamation.
Okay, so far you owe her $3,256. Who's Watson?
I'm Watson. That is my legal name.
Watson, how am I supposed to tell the difference?
Well, I'm letting you know
Just a
now
second.
that... Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you're Watson.
Of course.
Okay, so the police officer noticed carpet burns on both of your knees, and she said that you had scratches to your face and arms. That's why she was arrested. Now, there's no question in my mind that she was annoying and you prevented her from leaving because you wanted to talk to her about the clothes and what she owed you because they were worn. There's no question about that. There's no question in my mind that both of you acted badly on that day because your recourse is to come to court and sue her for the clothes, which you're absolutely entitled to, not to have an altercation with her. And Miss Rocker Watson, or whatever your name is, if she wants to talk to you and you go up there with your headphones on talking to your mother and say, I'm not talking to you about the clothes that I actually stole from you.
We actually had just had a conversation.
That I actually stole.
We had a conversation previous before I ever went up to her store in my store earlier.
Absolutely did not.
Just a second. And what was the conversation?
The conversation was about the clothing. These are actually the payout reports for the clothing that we had. We were speaking about her not trusting. And I was telling her, no, it's not an issue of you not trusting me or anything like that. And as we continued the conversation, she says, you stole my idea. But the conversation was about the report and how I went about it. And I explained to her about advertising and et cetera.
I understand, but you explained about to her. What I'm telling you is you took her new clothes, you made them old clothes, and you had no right to do that.
I understand.
Well, evidently not. Because what I'm telling you is there are certain things that make sense and certain things that don't make sense.
Correct.
You went upstairs to get your hangers, and you told the police that she told you to come upstairs to get your hangers.
Correct.
Right? But she also wanted to talk to you.
She didn't say that in the email.
But when you got up there...
She was very aggressive.
She didn't give a rat's behind about your hangers. You cared about your hangers.
Well, I also wanted the cardigan back so that I could pay her for it.
Yeah, she didn't care about your hangers.
Which
she
is why
wanted
she
to
didn't
talk
return them.
about $3,000 worth of merchandise.
No, she did not. Her inventory is there. It's about $1,000 in total if she would have sold every single thing.
I wouldn't trust you.
She went through it before.
I wouldn't trust you to sell stuff on consignment if what you did with her clothes was wear them, not only you, but other people. Wear them, you had them cleaned, and you put them back on the rack.
But she did not ask to leave the store. I asked her to leave.
Fine. Now you have one opportunity to tell me about...
With the defamation, once
don't speak.
You don't want me to tell you?
Don't speak. Yeah, well, she put this on. She said you wore the items and you re-tagged them. That's true. And then, I don't know what this is.
That is actually from the witness statement.
I don't know what this is.
That's a message that she actually posted in December saying that I'm a con artist and a scammer and things like that. She posted that
Just a second, I gave you thousands of dollars of inventory to sell. Bare store with no money up front. You'd rather wear the clothes and dry clean and put them back on for sale. Shame on you. That's not defamation. It's all true.
That I'm a scammer and a con artist?
Judgment,
yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,256. We're finished. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The only reason it turned into this is because Victoria attacked me.
We won the case, and that's all I really wanted was justice for my store.
Some people, they just can't help when you do better than them.
Do not judge a book by its cover. She looked slim and sweet, but she was the snake and sour.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Walsh versus Mackey. Step forward.
Kirsten Walsh is suing her former roommate, Christopher Mackey, for the return of money for a car.
So, Miss Walsh, you were a couple. He wanted to buy a new car, but he had another car. You needed a car. And according to you, you made arrangements with him that you would take over the payments on his old car. And once you finished paying off the loan on the car, he would transfer the title to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you drove the car. You're going to tell me for how long. And then the two of you broke up, and you took the car. He said, I want my car back because car's in my name. If you have an accident, I'm responsible. If you get a ticket, I'm responsible. If you hit somebody, I'm responsible. And now we're not a couple anymore, right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And you said, no, I've been making payments on this car, and I want you to give me back all the money that I paid for the car.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My question to you is, do you want to give him $10,000? If that's what's left on the loan, you pay him $10,000, he'll give you the car. Am I correct?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Absolutely. Your choice.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kirsten Walsh is suing her former roommate, Christopher Mackey, for the return of money for a car.
Let me explain to you. If you went to buy a car, you would be making car payments, right?
Yes, Your
That
Honor.
would be correct. Correct?
Typically, yes, Your Honor.
He didn't ask you for a down payment, did he?
No, Your Honor.
No. Okay. So let's just get some dates so you feel less terrible when you leave here. From when to when did you live together?
We moved in together, Your Honor, in October of 2019.
And when did you leave?
I moved out on December 31st.
And when did you make this arrangement with the car?
It was in September of 2019.
How many car payments did you make?
I made 5 car payments, Your Honor.
And how much was each of the car payments?
$400.
Before you took over the car payments from him, did you own a vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of car?
2014 Jeep Cherokee.
What did you do with it?
I was driving it when it was working. When it was non-operational, I was driving the Hyundai.
Well, where is it now?
It's operational at this time, Your Honor, and I've been driving it.
So what you're telling me is you kept 2 cars?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you do, get it fixed?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been paying for the repairs on my Jeep.
Okay, well, that's a good idea. Now, the Jeep you bought for cash?
I've been making payments on it monthly. I have it financed through Chrysler Finance.
Good. And how much are your car payments on the Jeep?
$650 a month.
So $400 a month, you understand $400 a month would be a bargain.
Yes.
Right. So why would you think if you drove his car for 5 months that you're...
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what's left on the car?
I still owe about $10,000, Your Honor.
Do you want to give him $10,000? My question to you is, do you want to give him $10,000? If that's what's left on the loan, you pay him $10,000, he'll give you the car. Am I correct?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Absolutely. It's up to you. Your choice. He doesn't want you to pay off the car, and I absolutely believe he's 100% right. He doesn't want any responsibility. You're not a couple anymore. If you have an accident, if you drop the insurance, whatever it is, he doesn't want to just be a lien holder on this car. He wants it out of his name. Do you want to give him, in order to fulfill the contract, $10,000 now?
At this point, no, Your Honor.
Then your case is dismissed. We're done. Thank you very much.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Their dog reached the fence and bit our dog on the nose.
Pictures speak louder than words.
What the defendants have here is compelling evidence to me.
Now I don't have the money that I put in to purchase the car, nor do I have a car.
I feel that the judgment was fair.
Our relationship fell apart after I caught him in lies.
It's